Welcome, student. Okay, in the previous lecture we started this lesson, that is the ancient India and the world. Okay, look at these roots. Okay, at the topmost we have a route that is called as a silk route from China to Europe. Okay, because China has exported its silk to the European countries through these routes, silk route. Next is, this is the sea route through which the European countries come to India, having these routes are trade routes between the Europe and India. Okay. Here is the Sigiriya, okay, in Sri Lanka, and this was cave monuments, Sigiriya caves. Okay, look at the beautiness of this cave sculpture. Okay, so this shows that Sri Lanka belongs to India. Okay, Sri Lanka was a part of India at that period. Let us continue with the reading of this point. Alexandria was an important port in Egypt, Alexandria, in the Mediterranean Sea. The Arab merchants carried Indian goods up to Alexandria. From there, they were sent to the countries in Europe. Besides Indian goods, the Arab also conveyed Indian philosophy and the science to Europe. The concept of zero is one of India's major contributions to the world. It was the Arab who introduced this Indian concept to Europe. So, Europe does not have the base education of mathematics without zero. So, when they get zero, they get the knowledge of mathematics thoroughly. Basically, the knowledge of mathematics belongs to Indian culture. Okay, as we introduce this concept of zero. Okay, before that, European countries did not know the concept of zero, but this concept of zero was introduced to the European countries by the Arabs who get the knowledge from India, from Bharatiya culture. Okay. So the first point, that is the India and the other countries in Asia. Second point. Okay. So in Asia also there are many countries having the trade relations with India from the ancient times. Nowadays countries. Okay. Many countries in Asia were greatly influenced by the Indian culture of those times. Okay. So one by one, first Sri Lanka. Now Sri Lanka is the separate country from India. Basically, at the ancient period, Sri Lanka was considered as a part of India. Okay, it was called as a Jambu Dweep. Whole Indian peninsula was called as a Jambu Dweep. Jambu Dweep means the face of bear. Face of bear. Okay. As we know, the structure of India is like a jambu. Jambu means bear. Okay. Sri Lanka, King Ashoka had sent son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra to Sri Lanka to spread Buddhism. Their names are mentioned in the Buddhist text Mahavamsha, written in Sri Lanka. Sanghamitra carried a branch of Bodhi tree with her. The Sri Lankan traditions believes that the Bodhi tree at Anuradhapur in Sri Lanka has grown from the same branch. Okay, so there they have a Bodhi Vriksha. Bodhi Vriksha, which is carried by the Sanghamitra from Bodh Gaya, okay, where the Buddha get the knowledge under that tree, Bodhi Vriksha. There was a great demand in India for Sri Lankan pearls and other precious stone in the 5th century CE. King Kashyapa had caves dug out at a place called Sigiriya, Kashyapa king, okay, in the 5th century. The wall painting in these caves bears a resemblance to the paintings of Ajanta caves. So there are similarities in a cave painting style in Ajanta caves, Ajanta and Verur caves, and in Sigiriya caves. They look alike with each other. Okay, the Sri Lankan Buddhist works Deepa Vamsha and Mahavamsha provided information about the close relations between India and Sri Lanka. They are written in the Pali language. So in Sri Lanka also there prevailed Pali language. In India also it prevails Pali language, same language. Okay, nowadays it was considered as a Sinhalese. Okay, China and other countries. So the Chinese culture are contemporary with the Indian culture from ancient period. China and other countries of Asian countries. Right from the ancient times, India and China had established trade and cultural relations. Emperor Harshvardhana had even sent an ambassador to the Chinese court. Chinese silk was known as Chinan Shukka and was a great demand in India. The merchant of ancient India supplied Chinese silk to western countries. The land routes by which the silk trade was carried out was called as a silk route. Some ancient places in India were connected to this route. Nala Sopara near Mumbai in Maharashtra was one such place. The Chinese Buddhist bhikkhu Fa He En and Yuan Chuang also came to in India through this silk route. In the 1st century CE, the Ming Emperor of China invited Buddhist bhikkhus Dharmarakshaka and Kashyap Matanga to China. The bhikkhus translated many Indian Buddhist texts into Chinese language. This gives impetus to the spread of Buddhism in China. Later on, Buddhism also reached Japan, Korea, and Vietnam through China. Okay, countries in Southeast Asia. The ancient kingdom of Funan in Cambodia was established in the 1st century CE. Christian era. CE means Christian era. Evidence is available from Chinese traditions that an Indian name Kaundinya established it. So basically that kingdom Funan was established by the Indian king Kaundinya. Okay. So today it was called as a Cambodia. People of Funan knew the Sanskrit language. The stone inscriptions of that period is still in existence. It is in Sanskrit. In many other countries of Southeast Asia too, small kingdoms established by the people of Indian origin had emerged. These kingdoms helped to spread Indian culture in Southeast Asia. Indian culture had a deep impact on the art and cultural life of Southeast Asia. Dance dramas based on stories from the two Indian epics Ramayana and Mahabharata. Today, the king of Thailand or Siam is called as Ram 24. The king called himself a devotee of Rama, or he considered himself as a Vamshaj of Ram. This influence continued to increase over the years. In the ancient period, the Buddhist religion spread to Myanmar, Thailand, Indonesia. In the later year, temple of Lord Shiva and Vishnu were also built there. So the biggest Vishnu temple was in Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat. Okay, you can Google and gather the information of Angkor Wat. Okay, this is the largest temple of Vishnu, which is devoted to Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, in I think Thailand. Okay, Cambodia. You can search it on Google. Okay. This year we have reviewed Indian history from 3000 BCE, before Christian era, and to the 8th century CE, the Christian era. Next year we will study the history of India from the 9th century CE to the 18th century CE. The history of this period is known as a medieval history. Okay, so this is the shortest but informative lessons of the ancient Indian culture, having the relations with the whole world, like the countries to the west and the Asian countries. Okay, so here we completed this lesson of history. After that we will going to start the revision of these lessons. Okay, through which we have to prepare all these lessons again. Okay, so basically I read and giving a short explanation of these lessons to get an informations about the ancient Indian culture. Okay, now we will stop here. Okay, thank you. In the next lecture we will going to revise this lesson again, and after that you have to be prepare your homework. Okay, thank you.